Ralph Carr stands while others sit. By me, Sarah Masson. Hello, my name is Governor Ralph Carr of Colorado. One second. One second. Okay. Ralph Carr stands while others sit. By Sarah Masson. Hello, my name is Ralph Carr, Governor of Colorado. Oh, excuse me. Yes, hello. Ma'am, I assure you just because your neighbors are Japanese doesn't mean they're spying on you. Yes, ma'am. No matter what the Denver Post may say, I'm still your elected governor, and I know... No, I'm not siding with our enemies at war. Thank you. Good day. Can you believe this? Ralph Carr stakes a political future on Jap stand. Who knew standing up for equal rights could crash your career? And this, a viper is nonetheless a viper wherever the egg is hatched. W.H. Anderson said that in an interview. How can people say this about their own citizens, comparing those of a different skin color to animals? What has this great nation come to? We consider concentration camps for our own citizens. On December 7th, that blasted bomb killed more than 2,000 people because of this war, and 2 months later, our president thinks that excuses blatant racism under false claims. And everyone agrees. News headlines read, "Internment of Japs demanded," but nowhere do you hear about people standing up. Look at this. I said in an interview that I want to caution the Defense Council against taking the stand that because a man may be brown-skinned, he is our enemy, and that we must be sensible about these things. And the news, it says that's a traitor's thing, as if I'm siding with the enemies. I'm siding with the Constitution, with the American people. Excuse me. Great. What could it be this time? Yes, this is him. What do you mean? Who in their right mind said that men who signed up for the war efforts in La Junta, Colorado would get a hunting license for Japanese people? E.H. Riley, and he is? A Navy recruiter, of course. Yes, thank you. Hunting licenses for people. The ends fear will drive people to is terrifying. This is ridiculous. People want to round up everyone with even 1/16 Japanese blood and dump them in concentration camps, 70% of whom have been born and raised in this country like everyone else. And what do my fellow politicians say? The leaders of this great country? They agree, that's what? I'm for catching every Japanese American in America, Alaska, and Hawaii now, and putting them in concentration camps and shipping them back to Asia as soon as possible. This is a race war, as far as the Pacific side of the conflict is concerned. Mississippi's governor, John Rankin, said that. They want them off the coast, but they don't want the camps in their states. Herd them up, pack them off, and give them an inside room in the Badlands, says Henry Mucklemore. I offered and encouraged relocation to Colorado before these camps take them, at the cost of being treated so poorly. And even when I try to get them to come here, Colorado citizens won't offer them housing. They raise rental rates and won't even give them a chance to pay and threaten violence. And still I want to do more. I speak in every interview. I spoke to my fellow governors, to the Defense Council, to the Senate, and to defend the Constitution. I try to expose the racism that Executive Order 9066 has given way to. And they don't see that, just as I said in the Denver Post, the Constitution must operate and function in a time of war, just as it does in a time of peace. The shame and dishonor of race hatred plagues this country. And like I've said, America is the great melting pot of this modern civilized world. And we cannot test the degree of a man's affection for his fellows or his country by the birthplace of his grandfathers. And as I've said, the news is always used against me in this time of war. And yet, in a country where, as I pointed out in an interview, we all have our origins lying beyond the borders of the United States, we want to lock them up because of factless claims they may be spies, loyal citizens. As I wrote to the Pacific Citizen newspaper, to the American-born citizen of Japanese parentage, we look for example and guidance. And to those who have not been so fortunate as to have been born in this country, we offer the hand of friendship, secure in the knowledge that they will be as truly American as the rest of us. I will fight for all Americans' rights, no matter their history or their blood, and in this time of fear that's become a controversial act. So many people agree with these camps. Fear, loss, and grief have turned us against our fellow citizens, and if I'm the lone politician who sees that, then so be it. I have no problem standing while others sit. least some people see what I'm trying to do. A few weeks ago, this kind Japanese family wrote to me, "Your statement of our case, that of American Japanese ancestry and that of other minority groups most seriously affected by this war, was one of the most decent, democratic, and American utterances we have heard come over the radio since the fateful and terrible events of last Sunday." Governor Carr would continue to go on to fight against the internment of our citizens. He served 2 terms, but lost the third due to his stand on Japanese. He ran again in 1950, but he died just a month before the election of a heart attack at 62 years old. Although he wasn't able to change or prevent internment camps, he stood alone against the popular opinion and fought for the Constitution and what it stood for, speaking to the Defense Council, the Senate, and in every interview he could get. To talk about and convince people that the camps were wrong and that our citizens weren't spies. Like he said, if we do not protect and preserve the Constitution and the Bill of Rights for all men today, it will serve as a protection for no man in 6 months from now. This great man is virtually forgotten today in the minds of our people, though he is remembered at a plaque in the state capitol describing his heroic stand, the Ralph Carr Judicial Center, and his statue in Denver Sakura Square, and the Ralph Carr Memorial Highway. Although very few knew about his stand, including those he was fighting for, the Japanese American Citizens League recognized how he fought for their rights, even if it cost him. They gave him a gold watch with the words "Courageous Stand for a Democratic American Principle" inscribed upon it. Although Ralph Carr's name is forgotten, we must not forget his stand, what he fought for, not today or any day. And the citizens of Colorado were doing just that. The Ralph Carr Freedom Defense Act, named due to its goals being the same as Ralph Carr's was, to protect all citizens, all Americans, no matter what. This bill would protect all people, no matter their religion or ethnicity, and it would stop state, cities, and counties from providing information about Colorado residents to the federal government for tracking or deportation purposes, pledging that Colorado does not endorse hate. Internment camps were an example of fear and how people can react to them in extremely negative ways. Ralph Carr stood up against the popular opinion at the time, and we all have a responsibility to do that. The fear still exists today. We all have a responsibility to stand against the popular opinion, against fear, and with our fellow humans in peace. Thank you. Any questions? Paige?
How do you choose this topic?
Well, I was looking for big events that I wanted to talk about a stand about, and I came across internment camps, and because I'm from Colorado, the governor popped up, and I saw that there was such little information on him. Nobody knew about him. I'd never heard his name before, and I grew up in Colorado. So he took a stand, but he was completely forgotten, and I wanted to shine a little bit of light on that.
What was his name again?
Ralph Carr.
What did you learn by going through this process?
Everything about him. I had never heard his name before. I'd never even heard of anyone taking a stand against internment camps. I had read that everyone agreed with it, and that the president signed it, and that there were stories that Congress wouldn't have opposed it. So it amazed me that no one thought against it, and it was interesting to know everything about it. Yeah, thank you.
Nice job.